watching.
Subscribe. Hello, you're watching ScreenStalker. I'm Fakidor Laurie Blake. This is Chopper Pete, and this is Luke Owen. And guess what just dropped? The very first trailer for Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
What'd you make of it, Luke?
I really liked it. I don't want to say down on the idea of this movie, but like, I've never thought, God, do you know what we need? A Joker origin movie.
We need to make him a sympathetic character.
Yeah,
Come on!
That's sort of where I tend to sit with some of these things. Like, I don't think everyone needs to have an origin story.
Yeah.
And the Joker is one of those characters. Like, surely he's scary because you don't know that much about him. And I know there are comics that have dived into his past and things like that. But for me, they're some of the least interesting ones.
And also because I think one of the most engaging aspects of, say, Heath Ledger's Joker is the story of the scars that runs through The Dark Knight, where he keeps retelling the story different every time. This idea that even he doesn't know or like plays with his own mythos.
Yeah.
Is amazing. Like,
it's so good.
Making him a very permanent, like, he's got a name, he did this, and this is why he became this thing. It's kind of almost the antithesis of what the character should be. But however,
this trailer was
actually
great.
really liked it.
This trailer
awesome.
Was ace. It's so cool. Like that, the hero shot, as it were, at the end when you do the big reveal of him in costume, I thought was marvelous.
Walking around the corner with a bouquet.
Yeah, I thought that it was really stylistic. Really, it looks to be like a really great Joaquin Phoenix performance. I am stoked for this movie, so much more than I ever thought I could be.
Well, it's weird. It kind of makes it feel like, to me, I was watching that and I was like, this is like a trailer for like The Pursuit of Happiness. It feels like a sort of redemptive arc story, and yet it's a really gritty take on an already very gritty character. It's like, and then at the end, it's like, is it a Fred Astaire film now? I don't know what's going on. It's like dancing in puddles. What's happening? Like,
yeah, I think the thing that I found most interesting about this is it doesn't seem like superhero related in the slightest. And obviously, this is not, this isn't tied to the DCEU or anything like that.
That doesn't exist anymore, Pete.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I mean. This isn't tied to any other.
And if
franchise.
it is the DCEU, we're leaving it.
Sorry, Pete.
Drexel? No. But yeah, this feels completely separate. This just feels like a film, like a very artistic, very well presented film, rather than like. Apart from the fact that it's in Gotham, and he mentions he might introduce like Batman or whatever. This is just a gritty take on a gritty character. Which is great.
And I think that's kind of what they wanted to do with this. When like Todd Phillips was talking about this, they didn't want, and Scorsese obviously being involved with this as well, that they didn't want it to be a superhero movie or a supervillain movie. In this case, they just wanted to make a movie that just so happens to be about a comic book character.
I think it really sells that idea in as well, because it does feel very disconnected from the wider DC universe and all this stuff. It feels like it really grounds him and gives him a backstory. And again, I'm not overly keen on that idea, but this one seems all right. It's basically like, man gets bullied until he becomes supervillain. Like, fine with that. Like,
it's Glass all over again.
My power is being bullied. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it looks really cool. There's like loads of different aspects to it. I'm interested to see how far they push it, like how much Joker is going to be in this as well, because obviously this is the film. The trailer is all mixed timeline stuff. I feel like save that for like 20 minutes off the end, and then just have him fully costumed up.
The descent into madness.
I want to see him slowly sort of break down and become this character.
Which I think the trailer does very well, because the start of the trailer, he is just your average lad. And the more the trailer goes on, the more mad he becomes, the more the laugh comes through. But until the end of it, when he comes, like, he has that hero shot of walking around in the full costume.
Yeah,
that was pretty wicked.
I no longer care. Well, there's all these little hints in there as well. So there was a bit where he's writing on a pad. I don't know if it's coming up right now. There's a bit where he's writing on a pad, and it's like it's writing his jokes for his stand-up. And it says, the worst part of having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't. And he's put a little smiley face in there. Like, it seems like all of this stuff is like, he's got a hard life. He again says, like, I thought my life was a tragedy, but I realize it's a comedy. There's all this like pressure forcing him to become this character, which is just interesting.
Yeah. And another little thing on that notebook as well is that the handwriting is very neat at the top. He's got all his jokes written down in a neat formula. And as he writes that one about the mental illness, it gets worse and worse and worse. And the handwriting becomes bigger and bigger. And then it seems like he's losing his mind, which is, I guess, the whole point.
Absolutely,
Great.
And I'm glad DC and Warner Brothers are going in this direction. The DCEU was a farcical. Like, it was a complete flop. It was something that they just did because they felt like, and it's not. I don't blame them. They felt like they had to do it because that's what audiences wanted. They were like, oh well, Avengers made $1 billion. We've got an Avengers. Do our Avengers. Do it and do it quick. No, I can't wait. Do it now. Just do it and do it right now. And it completely fell apart because there was no foundation put in place. So once that all went nipples north, this was a much smarter way of doing it. Just being like, let's just do what we used to do and make movies. They don't have to be connected. We don't have to put teasers in for future franchises. We'll just make movies about these really good characters. So this is a much better direction for DC and Warner Brothers than making Justice League 2.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? You know, well, the last time their stuff was really successful was Christopher Nolan's Batman, and that, you know, that was just a very much like, here's my directorial take on this character, like in the same way that a comics creator would take something and become an auteur about it and be like, you know, a Grant Morrison comic is very different to a Scott Snyder Batman. Like they obviously inspire each other, and there's all a knock-on effect. Frank Miller's Batman is like probably one of the greatest of all time, but they've all got a very specific take on all of those characters. The DCEU was like, what is the blandest take on all of these characters? What is the cookie cutter? What
is the quickest route we can get from A to B?
Tell me the top line of Batman. That's all I want. Like, I don't want any depth. And all this does is add depth to a character, which again, maybe not the best thing, because I think the interesting thing here is that he maybe makes him too sympathetic, and I don't know what they're going to do come the end of the film. When he turns in, like, it seems like in this, like, the world is against him. Gotham is the horrible place. He turns into this thing, and seems like he's rousing, like rabble rousing. He's got people in clown masks protesting outside this thing, like. It's like Miracle on 34th Street, but instead of a little girl, it's Joker. Like, it's just,
it's the film we've all
instead of
wanted
Santa
to
Claus.
see.
It's I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still skeptical, just because I think it'll be a good film, but I just don't know whether it's like world's best take on character.
No. But at the same time, not a tattoo in sight. He hasn't got deranged written on his forehead. Yeah. He's not got silver teeth.
You don't
or whatever
know. He might have jokes written all over him.
He
knows how to write, Luke.
He's not got ha 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 tattooed down his arm. None of the stupid nonsense that was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if anything, this gets a massive thumbs up from me because it's not that dumbness.
I guess that is the point, isn't it? You've got to strip out the dum-dums. If anything, I'm just pleased that they're going to take out the stupid bits. Okay, so how do you think this plays? Like, obviously, it's not going to play into the wider thing, but like, how do you think Batman potentially plays into this, or the other cast of characters in the DC universe? Not in the DCEU, the DC universe. The Dooniverse.
I'm hoping not at all.
No?
I'm hoping that this is just purely Joker in Gotham. And that's it. Like, there could be like, oh, we should probably do something about this. Anyone seen Batman around? And then that's it. Like, they don't show him. They don't have any sort of teaser, like a confrontation between the two or anything like that. This is a Joker movie, and they focus on Joker alone, and that's it.
So there was the potential. So there was a line in that where it was like, who would do something like this? And then it cuts to someone wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, it's showing Joker at the time in makeup watching that. Is he the one in the mask? Is
it a hint of Batman?
And we see him bidding a mask in the trailer, or is that Batman?
Yeah.
Is his rise or his fall to rise again here, Joker, coinciding with Batman's appearance, like almost like a year one kind of thing, where Batman was very much like fugitive kind of vigilante stuff. I don't know.
For me, I'm with you, Pete. I'd like none at all. Like I'd like no references to Batman, no references to the Riddler or anything like that.
What about Gordon?
Or Gordon's fine. Like Commissioner Gordon, I think is about like as far as you want to go with this. What you don't want is like, do you remember
regular Joes is all I want in this.
Like, you don't
want the regular Joes.
You don't want this to be like the first episode of Gotham, a terrible TV show. But you don't want it to be the first episode of Gotham.
Hey, they've got a Joker now too.
Where like a character will walk in and they're like, "Oh, Edward, you with your riddles." Like, I don't want any of that nonsense.
Oh, Cobblepot, you with your penguins.
You bloody love a penguin, don't you? Pick it up. So yeah, I'd like this to be 100% Joker focus. No post-credit sting of a possible Batman. Thank you. I just want it to be Joker only. That's my take. That's my opinion.
I think a very fair take. That's pretty much all we got time for discussing the Joker trailer that just came out. Please click the videos that have just appeared on the desk if you want some more awesome ScreenStalker content. I've been Laurie Blake. This has been Pete Quinnell. That has been Luke Owen. And remember, we're watching.